What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Kid Cudi hasn't had the easiest year. In September, he had a meltdown on Twitter, called out Drake, Kanye, and eventually checked himself into rehab after experiencing suicidal thoughts. With this move to become healthier, it also pushed back his album Passion, Pain, and Demon Slayin, which was slated for September 30th. Instead, it got pushed back until December 16th. We can only infer that Kid Cudi's in a better place mentally after going through rehab. He came out and did Complex Con, and it seems like he was in a really good mood performing on that stage. But he hasn't done any interviews or any real social media interaction. He's done a few posts about the album, but aside from that, he's been kind of keeping it low, and that makes perfect sense to do. With an hour and 27 minutes worth of music on this album, it seems like Kid Cudi doesn't go for quality over quantity. In my opinion, it's just too much music to digest, and at the same time, there's really no guarantee that you can make an album this long and still engage your listeners. I'm sure there's people out there that are like, oh, I want more music, but more music also translates to more filler material. And I think that's one of the things that this album suffers from. I feel like this is going to be Cudi's comeback album because of who he's working with and the collaborations that are on the album. He has Andre 3000, he's working with Plain Pat. He's, got Pharrell producing and featured on 2 records. So I thought that this was going to be the album that people say, wow, Kid Cudi is back. He's back doing his sound. But unfortunately, I can't say that. With this disconnect for Kid Cudi's music, I felt like I had to sort of think of why I feel that way. Why can I not like Passion, Pain, Demon Slayin like I loved Man on the Moon? And I think as Kid Cudi got deeper into his sound and started experimenting a little bit more, he got a little too deep. With Man on the Moon, it was easy to relate to. You look at any of those songs on there and the concepts are pretty much drawn out for you. Heart of a Lion was very inspiring. Solo Dolo was about being a loner and being proud of being a loner at the same time. So I looked at it like the concepts were so easy to digest, and on top of that, he had the unique sound. So it wasn't like it was just easy music. He had his own sound which draws you in, and then the music is easy to understand. I'm not saying that you can't understand what he's saying on Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying. I'm just looking at it like now he's trying a little too hard, if that makes sense. Now let's talk about some of my favorite songs. The first one I wanted to highlight is titled Does It. I love the flow on the verses. He's really it's got a nice flow to it. And I love that on the hook, it's not like one long sounding song. He switches it up with the hook. It sounds different than the verses, so I like that. There's also a nice bounce to the beat, some beautiful strings at the end. I looked at this album, the more and more I listened to it, I found myself entranced by the production more than anything. The album, to me, is really excellent in production. It captures what Kid Cudi's sound is. So I found myself more interested in listening to the beats and hearing all the different sounds that were used, almost more than listening to the lyrics. The second record that I wanted to highlight is titled Wounds. This album is divided up into 4 acts, with Act 3 being about love. It's not just about falling in love, but also the heartbreak that comes with it. So Wounds opens up to that heartbreak. Kid Cudi is singing about someone he lost, and it makes you feel like this woman, whether she's fictional or not, was special. I think on this album, there's a lot of passion lacking from these songs. I think that's one of the main problems. But there's no passion lacking on Wounds. The last record I wanted to highlight is titled Cosmic Warrior. For me, like I said earlier, the production is what makes the album. So on this song, you have production that is eerie. It sounds like a modern day X-Files theme song with the splash of Final Fantasy at the very end. I just love this song. I also really like singing along to the hook. And for that, it gets even more cool points. Now I wanted to take just a moment to highlight a couple other songs on here that I like. Some honorable mentions. All In, Rose Garden featuring Willow Smith, and mature nature. Now let's talk about some of the bad songs on the album. The first one is Releaser. What is even happening on this song? It doesn't feel like a natural Kid Cudi song. Like it has that vibe to it, but I feel like he's trying a little too hard. The whole whispering, it just doesn't come off as it doesn't come off as natural for Kid Cudi. I'll be honest though, the song did sound like it was going to start off good. The production is nice on it, and I felt like at times it was going to build towards something, but that really never happened on the song. The other record that I really wasn't feeling is Baptized in Fire featuring Travis Scott. The bar was set with Through the Late Night, so anytime you have Kid Cudi and Travis Scott collaborating and it doesn't reach that level, you're going to feel some kind of disappointment. It's just hard to accept anything less than what they've given us thus far. I will be happier when I turn this Kid Cudi album, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, from an actual album of 19 songs into a shorter EP featuring some of the favorites that I highlighted and the honorable mentions. There are some good songs on here, and that's more than I can say about Speed and Bullet to Heaven. I don't know if I'll ever fully appreciate or understand or even enjoy a Kid Cudi album again to the same extent that I did with the first two albums. And that's fine. As long as I listen to the music and give it an honest take, give it a chance at least, I think that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. So those are my thoughts on Kid Cudi's Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying. Let me know what you think about the album in the comment section below. Then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.